a number of years ago on CBS Sports, we did a pre-draft show, and I was asked who I thought should be taken at that spot, and I said Justin Herbert. I don't by the way, that was, the kids call it a humble brag. A brag by definition is not humble. So that was just a brag. I don't think they've yet had a coach who has best positioned him to be his best. I am thrilled with the Jim Harbaugh hire. I think Jim does what the best coaches do. He best positions players to be the best. But the other hire that's gone under the radar screen a bit that I think is just off the charts brilliant is Mark Trestman. Had the opportunity to work with him in Oakland. He is, as they say, Suzy, you're from New England, wicked smart. He is wicked smart as an offensive mind, and I'm really excited to see what they do to maximize Justin's skills.
I was talking to a coach on the offensive side of the ball, and they were having their install meetings with the coaches at the combine. You talk about using every minute to be productive, where most of coaches, some of the activity that takes place at the combine is not always football related. They were like doing installs with all their offensive coaches.
That's great.
And this coach was telling me that they had a conference room rented out, reserved and everything. And he said, we'll put in a run play. And once, okay, this is the play, this is what's called, blah, blah, blah. And he said, Trestman will then go, yeah, the first team that ran this, I was with this team, and we had this coach. In 1982, we've installed this week 3 against such and such team, and then it evolved from there, and then this other team picked it. It's like this guy knows the history of every single play that we're put in. Like he is, wicked smart is a good way to put it.
Can't wait to watch.
Speaking of the Chargers picking at 5, they need a receiver. Who are they going to take?
Yeah. Well, I think if you're the Chargers, I think they want to get out of there. If they are going to sit there and pick, to me, the order I have it Marvin Harrison, I have Rome Odunze 2, and Malik Nabers 3. But that being said, they're number 2, 3, and 4 on my list of the best players in the draft. So, in other words, there is no wrong answer. They're all 3 exceptional. I think if there's no trades, that Marvin's going to probably go 4, I would guess, to Arizona. So then it becomes Nabers, who's super dynamic, explosive, run after catch. I don't think he's not quite as route polished as Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze has a bigger catch radius. I've seen Herbert play really, really well with big physical ball catchers, with Mike Williams and with Keenan. When those guys were healthy, there's a reason why Herbert had put up monster numbers when he could actually get those guys out there on the field. I think Rome Odunze would fit beautifully with him. And I also think, at the end of the day, most games come down to third downs and red zone. And so when I'm trying to split ties, and I have very similar grades on these guys, when I have Odunze versus Nabers, and I look at third down red zone, I'm going to take the bigger guy. And it's not like he's a slug either. I mean, he runs in the low 4.4, so he can still move.
Can you give me comps for those 3 guys, please? Like coming out of college?
Sure. Yeah. So interesting. Coming out of college, really, you could make the same one for Marvin and for Odunze. Like Odunze to me was Larry Fitz. Like Fitz coming out of college at Pitt. I remember having a coach in the room. I think it was in Baltimore. Yeah, I know it was in Baltimore. And he was like, I just don't know how fast he is. I'm like, does he get caught? Well, no. Well, he's fast enough, and he catches everything. And he's a brilliant dude. You can play him anywhere. The work ethic, character, leadership, off the charts. So that was my Odunze comparison. Nabers was like a DJ Moore type player who we've seen take off for the Bears. Did a nice job in Carolina, and you saw him take another step last year. It was run after catch. He's like a running back with the ball in his hands. Big time burst, big time explosiveness. Marvin, I didn't have one for him like coming out of college of someone that came to mind that he really reminded me of, but there is a little bit of and I know I'm talking about some Hall of Fame players here, but there's a little TO to him, like just as a power forward, like he is sculpted. If you get a chance to see him, like he is a machine.
So he's going to start whipping his shirt off and start benching in somebody's yard. Is that what you're saying?
We could start getting some benching, some push-ups maybe, with some fatigues on, with Rosenhaus trying to explain the whole thing. I mean, that would be exciting. But no, they're again, all 3 of them, to kind of paint the picture of some of the names that we're talking about here. These are really, really good players.
Check out new episodes of What the Football with Suzy Shuster and Amy Trask every Tuesday. Watch us on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page, or follow and listen wherever you get your podcasts.